Not one, not two, but Netmarble's producing a third solo leveling game. Let's talk about it. What's good, YouTube? We're talking solo leveling Karma, which is coming soon. And right here, we're on the website. We just got the announcement literally today. Everybody's dropping videos on it. So here's mine. Let's go ahead and talk about this newest game, talk about what's going to be in it. Honestly, I don't really know too much because the website is pretty basic. So I think they're very much still in the developmental stages when it comes to this game, and with that we can see some of the things we have going on in the background. It's going to be the story of Sun Jinwoo within the 27-year gap in which he faces all the different monarchs. And if you don't know what the monarchs are, then you might just want to stop, listening there. But regardless, we do have a trailer that we're gonna play right now, and in this trailer we're just gonna react to it and see the different things we have going on. Alrighty, let's go ahead and just react to this trailer. I would just let it play through regularly, but in all honesty, you guys probably can just watch this. I'll link this in the description below, but it's only a minute long. So as all battles come to a close, Sun Jinwoo's endless war begins anew. Let's go ahead and look at the various different things we got going on. So all these are solo leveling Arise assets, which is interesting. So hopefully they do change up the assets. I know Netmarble is producing this game themselves, but for Overdrive, which is the second solo leveling Arise game that's coming through, and with Karma, we are seeing some similar sprites, which, it might not be a terrible thing depending on how they play with the game. But this is the looks of Karma, and honestly, it gives me this angle. This is like some type of 3D angle, some type of 3D downward angle. So looking like some type of action RPG, maybe some type of roguelike. In this, what would the combat look like? What would the PvP look like? I'm not sure, but like I said, there's these glimpses, and when I see the camera just pointing down on these angles, these look like just gameplay angles, if all honesty, right? Like right here, right? It looks like the camera is panning to Sun Jinwoo and we're about to just start our battle from this angle. So that's pretty interesting. And then the next thing that tells me this is this angle as well. So very interesting to see what this game entails. We've got, the Cardanon Temple where it all began. We got Sun Jinwoo facing various different bosses with various different weapons, right? We just saw like a big ass mallet in this man's hand. Like, what is this, dude? This is Mjolnir. This is Thor's hammer. How did this get into Arise? Netmarble is crossing the multiverse, but regardless, we're facing high orcs in an interesting dungeon. This is a longer, different sword. So new swords, new weapons, new drip as always. Netmarble's always gonna have the drip, but this is the Sun Jinwoo asset. Igris looks a little bit kind of extra dripped out. He has something extra going on. Can't really put my thumb on it, but of course this is the 27-year gap when Sun Jinwoo does take on the monarch. So of course many things would have changed by then. And let's look at some different gameplay. Looks like a cross ultimate between Sun Jinwoo and Igris, or maybe that's just Sun Jinwoo's ultimate himself. And let's see what we got going on. This was the ending part. Now personally, I've got to go and reread the manhwa myself, but I have no idea who this is. If you guys know who this is, feel free to let me know. But solo leveling Karma, and that is it. There's no release date, no nothing. We can go to the X account, which is this is the third thing that can let us kind of like tap in with solo leveling Karma, and definitely you guys can of course check out this account, follow this account if you want more news. This is probably going to be the best way to get more news on Karma itself, because keep in mind guys, we now have not one, not two, but 3 solo leveling games to be looking forward to various different updates and looking forward to various different mechanics. Now, what does this mean for the other games currently going on? Well, we've got Arise in the background, right? And we're currently in the idle collaborations, and in all honesty, I gotta say, man, this is interesting. Like every time some more news for solo leveling just comes on out, it just kind of changes my perspective on Arise and just like all the games in general. Like, I'm not sure. There's a lot of emotions going on, right? But I think the main thing to note is that maybe the lack of updates has been, maybe because they're focusing on 3 different games at once. And who knows, man, they could be focusing on a 4th game, right? They could be, having the team, the development team for a 3rd or 4th game right now, and they just have no trailer out. But that's neither here nor there. I think that once all these games get released, then, maybe they will refocus and resurface and reorganize and reprioritize some of these other games, right? Like Rise, like the game we're playing right now, right? The mobile game. The mobile game was first, and I don't want to see it, of course, die, but with the release of more games, it might wither the game out. Now, of course, it was in a dry period, and depending on where you stand with this update, it might be in a dry period for you. And then we do have the release of Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive. This is slated to come in 2025. We got about 5 more months left within 2025, so we're looking at a Q4 release. Regardless, this game will be super interesting, right? This is the game that really piqued my interest based off of the gameplay and based off of the sheer fact that it's co-op, and there's no gacha system, and a lot of what you go through is grind based, right? You can create weapons, you got a skill tree, you got various different classes. So Overdrive personally is like my bread and butter as far as my personal game style, what I personally like within Overdrive. But yeah, with the announcement of Karma, this is honestly insane, right? I literally just found out the news and I told my Discord, which shout out the Discord. And if you guys were in my last Discord, go ahead and join the newest Discord in the description below. But regardless, the point is that we're getting a third Solo Leveling game, guys. How do you feel about this? What is your initial thoughts on this? What is your true thoughts on this? Because I don't know. This is interesting right now. I'm all for it, right? Because as a content creator, we're going to keep making these videos, and I definitely would love to keep making videos on Solo Leveling. So Netmarble, we're going to keep playing the games you bring, especially if it's Solo Leveling attached. I'm personally looking forward to Overdrive. Overdrive's pretty much going to take up so much of my time when that game does release. But now I've got Karma to look forward to, which that is going to also be interesting. And then, of course, we've got Arise on the back end, the one that started it all. Honestly, Arise is still an insane game, and once we get into later chapters of Solo Leveling, like, I'm not gonna spoil what specifically happens in Solo Leveling, like in the later chapters, right? If you haven't read the manhwa or whatever, but if you know, there are some exciting battles, there are some exciting moments that I have got to see animated. So we're gonna keep playing Arise until they close the game. So with that in mind, what are you guys' thoughts when it comes to Solo Leveling Karma? I think Karma is going to be super interesting. And then as far as when are we gonna play it, I have no clue. I have no clue, no idea. Hopefully they release a Discord or something of some sort so we can get even more information on this game when it is readily available. As far as where you can play it, this one will be on mobile, so we can get it on the App Store, we can get it on the Google Play, and then there will be a PC version. So this will be more akin to a Rise versus, let's say, Overdrive, which with Overdrive, you guys will only be able to play this on PC, on Steam, and then on Xbox. So this is more of a console slash PC type of game with Overdrive, and then Arise, and then Karma. That is more so suited for the mobile players and then suited for the PC players as well. But guys, make sure you leave a like on the video. Let me know what you think of Solo Leveling Arise Karma, what you think of Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive, what you think of Solo Leveling Arise, and then make sure you guys do click that link in the description to get those free supporter codes. Join over 293 supporters and supporting the Monica game to eat on those free codes for season 10 for Solo Leveling Arise, right? Eventually, we're gonna have to get to the point where we're talking about various different codes for various different games, but for now, we've only got one place to send codes, so make sure you guys eat on that. 2 new codes coming through. But what do you guys think of Solo Leveling Arise Karma, Solo Leveling Arise, or Solo Leveling Karma, I should say. I'm just gonna keep saying Arise, but go ahead and leave your thoughts, theories, and comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Peace.